afternoon. I'm just so happy to see you. Ray Churchill.
Cate, very nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And thank you for coming to be on Stories Worth Telling. And I understand that you have a story worth telling. You have something that you would like to share with me about what you're up to. I know you're a very busy guy. So
I tell you, it's free time and I don't get along very well. But yeah, we're, first of all, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. We've talked on the phone, but to finally get to meet you face to face, this is great. Yes, I'm the president of the Eastern Connecticut Performing Arts Association. We're housed in the Griswold area, but we really function for all of Eastern Connecticut. That's our goal. Everybody up and down that 395 Turnpike. And we are a 501c3 that began in 2011. And we've been working our way through growing and growing. The organization is really getting quite big right now. And we keep having these wonderful events all the way through, and they're really cool. And thanks to you, we're going to be able to start to get the word out down here on the shoreline as to what's coming up in the beginning of June with the organization.
I am so excited. And today I was looking on your website. I did my homework.
Great.
You're a teacher. I know that doing homework is really important.
Very important.
I did my homework. I looked up on the website, and I got tickets for the show coming up on
Great.
June 5th. And invited some of my friends, some people who live in Griswold and didn't know about it. So I am acting as an ambassador on your behalf.
I can't thank you enough. That's great.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
So ticket sales are starting, an early bird special.
Yes.
Only $20 if you get them before May 31st, I believe?
Yes, so right around there, right in that ballpark, give or take. Yep. And then the event itself is on June 5th.
June 5th, rain or shine.
Rain or shine.
You're going to be there.
I paid the bands anyway, so they're playing. Of course, if the weather is severe, we would think about canceling, but we wouldn't have a rain date. So,
right.
yeah.
And, you know, if you spend $20 in advance and buy the early bird special, it's a donation to a really good nonprofit or to struggling musicians, regardless.
Yes, for sure. And musicians throughout this pandemic have been hammered.
Hard hit.
No clubs were open. No restaurants were open. Nobody was having weddings. Nobody was going out. So it was very difficult for musicians to stay afloat. And now here that the state is starting to open up a little bit more, and hopefully, knock on wood, the pandemic is just about passed, hopefully. By the time the Jazz Fest happens on June 5th, I believe that the governor will have completely opened the state for all outdoor events, so there'll be no restrictions.
Well, and currently what the website said is come with a mask on and contain yourself within your group, and then with your group probably you don't need to maintain social distancing.
No.
There will be concessions.
There will be.
Put your mask on when you go to concessions or use the restroom. There's going to be porta potties, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
That sort of thing. But bring your tables and chairs and blankets.
For sure. Yes, absolutely. A really cool thing this year that we hadn't done in years past because we had an extensive array of food trucks in the past.
Oh, fun.
But I know if I was going to a Jazz Fest, I would want to pack my own cooler. I want to pack my own basket with neat treats and bring whatever I would like to drink. And that's what we're allowing this year. So everybody's just able to come on in, pack a cooler, bring a bottle of wine, bring whatever you would be refreshing to you on that day. If you want to pack some snacks, some eats, you're more than welcome. And we'll also have some concessions, not as many as we have in the past. I know we have an ice cream stand. We will have an actual food truck. We're trying to get a coffee truck to come in so you can get to those iced coffees. That would be so refreshing on a hot June day. So there will be some things for you to purchase. Water, soda will be there. A few things to purchase, but you're welcome to bring anything you want. Bring the lawn chairs. Bring the pop-up tents if you want. If you're under a pop-up tent, we would just ask you to stay to the side or to the back so we're not blocking anybody's view.
Absolutely.
But anybody's welcome to bring an umbrella. Anything you want to be comfortable. It starts at 1:30 on the 5th and goes till 8:15. There's 4 bands playing.
4 bands, 4 different bands.
4 different bands.
Can you tell me a little bit about these bands? I'm really excited.
I am so. You have no idea.
You're excited too, I can tell.
I am so excited as well about this. One of the missions of ECPAA, Eastern Connecticut Performing Arts, when we got together in 2011, started talking about it, was there just seems, there's never enough arts and music in the community.
I agree.
Never enough.
Never.
You can't ever have enough.
No.
But it seems that in that chunk in the middle of the 395 corridor, we really don't have much in there. You
need
you
more.
have some when you get down here to the shore. You have wonderful feeders down here and opportunities, and some when you get up into the quiet corner, into the Putnam area and the Pomfret area.
Yep.
But there's nothing happening in the middle of the state. So what we wanted to do was have opportunities, find opportunities to bring these performance opportunities into the community, and this is one of the things we started doing 4 years ago. And jazz. Why jazz? Jazz because I know the Mystic had a great blues festival that went for a long time, and that was organized by Chris Lee, who's playing at our gig this year.
Oh, good.
Oh my God, he's so good. But that had closed down. I don't know of any other jazz festivals within an hour drive from here. You can go to Newport if you want. I think that's still up and running. I don't even know if they're running it. Yeah, Newport's the king of the jazz festivals, and they do great. It's a big, huge weekend. But just in our neck of the woods, for Eastern Connecticut, Western Rhode Island, we have people come down from New Hampshire and Massachusetts. A lot of people from the other side of Hartford. So it's really starting to spread its wings. We have an unlimited amount of seating, but I'll get into that in a minute. You asked me about the bands, so.
Yeah, the bands. There's 4 different bands.
This is the good stuff. And when we started to do this project in 11, or I think it's 18 was our first project, I think, with the Jazz Fest. We sat down as a board of directors and decided that if we're going to do this, we're doing it right, and there's 2 things that we have to spend money on, and that is the quality of the band and advertising. Those are the 2 things. If we're going to spend, we have to spend on that. So we've spared no expense with the bands. Everything is it's the best we can. It's the best that's available to us. And I have a lot of resources. Being a music teacher, I have a lot of tentacles out into the music world.
Of course.
So I called in some of my huge big hitting friends. I have a lot of friends that are jazz giggers around the area all the time, and I'm like, who's your dream band? Who do I call? Boom, called them. So this is how it's laying down. We got 4 bands starting at 1:15. We're opening up with who's called the Wolverine Band.
The Wolverines, okay.
Now, people get confused because the mascot of Griswold High School are the Wolverines. So they're like, oh, you got a high school band playing? No, we don't. No, we don't. Our jazz band is fabulous at the high school. But the Wolverine Band is a 7-piece Dixieland band. And that's the old school, down in the French Quarter, New Orleans, just the original Dixieland sound with the clarinets and the trumpets and the whole jazz line and all the brass. They really are unbelievable. 4 years ago, they were our first band. They opened up for us, and I had to go get them again. They were so good and so well received. So they're the first band up. They'll play for an hour and a half. Second coming up, this gentleman, his name is Greg Abate, and he has his own quartet. And Greg is actually, he's the one performer that we have in the lineup that is world renowned. Most of our performers are known well throughout New England in this area, but Greg is world renowned. He happens to live in Western Rhode Island. I forget the name. I'll get it in a second. But a buddy of mine gigs with him all the time, and I said, you gotta get me the man. Get me high end. And he goes, I don't know if you can get Greg, but try to get Greg.
He's here, so he's coming.
He's close, right? So this guy is an absolute stud. He graduated from Berklee College of Music in Boston. He's been gigging and touring ever since. And when I met him, the first time I called him, this was of course pre-COVID, he was on tour in Denmark, and he said, yeah, I'll give you a buzz when we get back in the States. And he's an alto sax player and a jazz flute player, and he has a quartet that he travels with. They're incredible. And funny side story, when I tried to book him, and I said, okay, what would your fee be, Greg? And we're glad that you're available. This is great. What would your fee be? And he told me his fee, and I went, oh.
Right.
I'm like, Greg, I know you're worth every penny of that fee.
Of course.
But at the time, it was our first year. I'm like, we're a fledgling festival.
Of course.
I just can't, I'm so sorry, I can't pay that. And he goes, could you pay half? Like, yes, I could pay half. He goes, I play all over the world, but I never play close to home. I want the gig. We'll do it for half.
Wow.
I'm like,
wow.
Touchdown, right?
Like, yeah, well, you used to be a football coach. Yeah, so touchdown, exactly.
And it was so fabulous to get him. He's He's a big bebop jazz player.
Oh.
And those who may not know what bebop is a very rapid-paced form of jazz that came after the swing band era. And the basic context of bebop is to show off. You have world-class musicians just basically showing off. Soloing, soloing, soloing. This is how fast I can play something.
Fun.
And your jaw will hit the lawn.
Well, I also saw that there's going to be open space for dancing, so put on your dancing shoes.
You'll be on grass.
Yes,
I haven't.
hey, that's okay. Or take off your shoes and sandals, whatever. Just
absolutely
enjoy the day.
And that's the fun part about it. I can't wait till I get to tell you about the venue we're going to be at.
Okay.
The third band we're having coming in is one that is. It's kind of a jazz band. I kind of stepped out of the genre just a little bit because they're a local band and they're awesome. They played a concert for us in the fall at Heavitree B&B in Griswold, and they play the casino a lot, but they're called Souls on Fire, and they're a horn band, similar to like a Chicago or a Tower of Power or something like that. They play a lot of Motown, stuff like that. Yeah. So it's not truly in the jazz genre, but it's a 14-piece horn band, and you'll be singing and dancing along with all the Chicago hits and everything.
Oh, fun!
They are fantastic, really a great band. And the final band that will play for the last hour and a half will be, I mean, most of you around here will know him, Chris Lee. Okay. Chris Lee is an unbelievable blues guitarist, and he's got Rufus Davis on piano, and it's a quartet, and they've played every one of our jazz fests so far because I can't not invite them back. I think everybody would revolt and not come to the festival.
Oh my goodness!
Because he gets everybody up and dancing. It's fun blues music. And the whole place is up and rocking when Chris is playing. I cannot wait. I even last year, because of COVID, and all the musicians were out of gigs, I had a little fundraiser for Chris's band at my house, and I just said, hey, if everybody can contribute $20 a person, Chris and his guys are going to come over and play. And we were able to come up with $1,200 to give to the band just because they weren't playing. You know, a lot of those guys, that's their only source of income.
It's tough. It's a tough deal right now with what's been going on and people not being able to get out. So
yeah, there's no question. It's brutal, but it's on its way out, I hope. And with the state opening back up, I think we're going to get a lot of musicians back to work and entertaining people as the restaurants reopen.
Oh yeah, it's like the reopening, like a renaissance kind of thing.
Yes.
So I'm excited. But you know what? I wanted to talk to you because I was talking to my husband about it, and we did book our tickets.
I love it. Thank you.
And I got some of my friends to say they'll come too. So I already have like a little party kind of
that's great.
planned for it.
I love it.
But my husband said 1 till 8:15. I was like, well, you don't have to stay the whole time.
No, of course not.
Yeah, like we could, probably get a stamp, or they'll put a bracelet on us, or something. We could come and go if we wanted to.
Yep, you'll get stamped as you come in the gate, and you can come
free parking.
Of course, free parking, and you can come and go as you please if you want to. One nice thing is if you go to our website at ecpaa.org, you can get a preview of each one of the bands.
Right.
So you'll go to the band's link, you'll hit them, and a YouTube link will pop up so you can hear the Wolverine band, and you can hear Souls on Fire, hear them all. So if you listen to the 4 bands and go, man, I would really want to hear those 2, you can just come for those 2 if you want.
Come for the first part of the day, or come for the last part of the day.
Come for part of the day. If you want to come for a little bit and ditch it and go have some lunch or something and come back, you're more than welcome to.
Exactly, right. So it's very flexible, and
Absolutely.
It's going to be amazingly fun. Now, there's going to be other vendors besides, there's going to be some concessions, I guess, if you have some.
Well, the concessions, one thing that we haven't done yet is open it up really to outside concessions, vendors other than just a couple of food trucks. We wanted to keep the attention on the music and what's going on stage, and we didn't really want to give people the opportunity to just be milling around and looking at tchotchkes and a whole bunch of tent. They would have been wonderful, and I would really love to get more people involved. But for right now, I don't want to give distractions to the musicians. I want the focus to be on the musicians because they are top notch.
You're a teacher.
I am.
I can tell. Keep the audience focused.
You got it.
Keep them focused on the learning objectives, and that's enjoying the music and understanding a little bit, because each musician's going to tell a little backstory when they come and talk. And It's going to be a really warm, pleasant, welcoming environment. I can tell already.
It's so much fun, and if you've never hung out with jazzers before in a jazz crowd, they're just cool people. You know, jazzers are just, they just want to sit. Jazz crowd people, they're going to sit in their lawn chairs, share a bottle of wine, take out a charcuterie plate and enjoy that. And then when they hear a tune that they want to boogie to, they're going to get up and dance.
Exactly.
And then they'll come and sit back down. It's a really mellow, kind of fun, laid-back crowd.
I love that.
And the more of them you get together, you know, there's going to be 500 people plus there.
I love it. What is the capacity? What do you think?
Unlimited.
Okay, really unlimited.
I'll tell
You're not
you,
being facetious.
No, not at all. Let me tell you, we have a second for me to tell you about the venue?
Sure, I think we're doing okay, yeah.
Oh, this venue, Urechko's Tree Farm.
It's a tree farm.
It's a tree farm.
I saw that.
Urechko's Tree Farm in Griswold. And I am fortunate enough to share a property line with Phil and Lucy Urechko.
So you just go out your back door?
I do. You'll see my house from the bandstand.
Okay.
But I was, Phil and Lucy invited my family over a couple of 4th of Julys ago. Well, it had to be like 4 or 5 now. And for just barbecue. I'm like, great. And I'm walking around and I'm at the barbecue, and Phil, it's a beautiful tree farm, but Phil also has a hobby that he flies these little Cessna planes. So it's also, if you look it up on Google, I think it's called Pine Airport, or Spruce Airport.
Okay.
So the whole middle of the tree farm is a grass runway.
Nice.
It's got to be a half a mile long of a grass runway right down between the trees. So that's where we set up.
We're talking about capacity.
We're talking about as many as you want. I don't know how many people I could park out there. I could put 200, 300 cars in the end of the runway where we park, and then the rest of it so scenic. You're just sitting in amongst these Christmas trees, beautiful scenic setting, and we could literally put, I don't know, what would we stop handling? Maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people would be too much.
Well, eventually we'll get there, right? In a couple of years we'll be there. So
yes.
Just keep building on it, spread the word. It's going to be bigger than Newport eventually.
Oh, that's the goal. I hope so. Yeah.
I think so. And I've been to Newport a couple of times.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Isn't it wonderful?
And this is so much closer. And there's a lot of talent in this area.
Yes.
That's what I've learned since I moved here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the talent doesn't just come from Eastern Connecticut.
No.
It comes from, I started at the top of the list with the best bands, and I never made it to number 2.
Wow.
I said, hey, I need these Dixieland bands, and I want blues bands, and then I want big swing bands and stuff like that. And my guys that are advising me that play in the jazz world, all right, get this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. And I never made it to the second band on any list. It's just, they all wanted to do it.
That's great. That's great.
It's so cool.
Well, the thing that I think people might be afraid of is that it's so affordable, they might not think it's worth it. You know, for $20, $25 per ticket, that's really reasonable. So I know New Englanders like a deal.
Yes,
so
yeah, absolutely.
We're going to just say, hey, it's the best deal you're going to get all year long.
It is the best of the best. And honestly, right now in these younger, we're in our 3rd year because we got canceled last year. We're just trying to build a clientele at this point. We want to get people hooked on the event, and if $25. If you're used to going into Newport and going to that festival, and you're going to pay over $100 for your ticket, $25 seems like nothing.
Right.
But to people that are not used to going to outdoor festivals, $25 is a decent chunk of change. So we don't want to scare anybody away with the price right now. People tell me they leave the festival saying, you are nuts. Why are you charging $20, $25? This is a $75 ticket. I said, we'll get there. Not yet. Not yet. We want everybody to be able to afford it and come in. We don't make a killing on these festivals right now.
No, of course not. And a lot of energy goes into the organization of it, and the getting the word out and marketing of it, and all of those things that you're doing. So a lot of work. So basically, thank you for that, and thank you for the opportunity.
It's fun.
Tell me a little bit more about your 501c3, your nonprofit organization.
Would love to.
Okay, please.
Yeah, thank you. As I said earlier, we became a 501c3 in 2011.
That's a lot of work right there.
It sure is. It's a lot of work right there. And that took a good 6 to 8 months just to get the process taken care of. And I think the impetus for the whole thing was I was driving down Main Street, Jewett City, and there's
not a lot going on.
Not much. And there's the old State Theater that's on Main Street, Jewett City. It's been closed for years. like, why is that closed? Why has something not happened in there? And I'm like, bing, light bulbs go off. So I call all my best friends, smartest people I know, and I'm like, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about this idea? What do you think about this? He goes, that's a great idea. Yeah, we gotta.
What are you thinking? Brick and mortar down the road?
Brick and mortar.
There you go.
That's what we want. So that was the impetus. I don't know if we'll end there. We've looked at that property, and I'm not sure it's going to suit what we need. But we've looked at a bunch of properties, and that's what we essentially want. We want to be in the center part of the states, in the center part of the Turnpike, Griswold, Plainfield, Lisbon, somewhere around there. That it is a brick and mortar place. And it's a brick and mortar place not only to put on great performances and allow both professional performances to happen and do some community stuff for anybody that wants to get on, but our organization is kind of a two-headed monster where we not only want to perform, but a big part of what we do is to educate. We have a bunch of teachers on the board, and that's really our passion. And you know, there's so many people in the world that never experimented with that. You know, we've had
music, you mean specifically?
Right, with any kind of the arts. And we have been running classes. We've been using area schools to run classes.
Nice.
And the classes for the last, 10 years now have been like, adult classes, couples class for tap class, or a ballroom dancing class, or a line dancing class, or for the little itty bitties, you should see this, your heart would melt.
I love it.
It's moving munchkins dance classes.
Wow.
And beginning tap and all that kind of stuff. And for the teenagers, we've done hip hop classes. We've done audition technique classes. We've done vocal technique classes. We've had friends of mine from Broadway would come in and do workshops.
Nice.
But we want to not only perform and entertain, but half of our mission, as we state in our mission statement and our business plan, is to offer opportunity for local people to see what they, live a dream.
Why?
Right.
Why, Ray? Tell me why. Why is this so important?
Because there's nothing more self-fulfilling. There's nothing more to prove to yourself that you can do it. There's nothing more, it makes you human. Being involved in the arts and being involved in music and never having the opportunity, I wouldn't want to be on my last couple breaths having that regret. If I can give some person the opportunity to go, I've never been in a musical, and I think I'm terrible, but I want to do it. Fine. We did Rent a couple years ago. We were going to do Cats, except that COVID took care of it.
Nice.
We got Les Mis coming in the hopper down the line somewhere.
Can't wait.
We have all these shows that we want to do, and we don't intend to go out and hire pros.
No. You know what? I went on your website, and then I went on your Facebook page, and I liked your page, and I shared it.
Great.
And I want you to share your event on it. I want to start following you on Facebook, and then I will share it, and then we'll get more and more people to know about it, like it, share it, just really build a buzz on it, because people are excited to have this kind of opportunity. And the only way we can have that is if we know about it. And the only way we're going to know about it is if we tell people.
That's
and
correct.
We hear it, and we build the buzz and get the excitement going. So
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I am so excited for you.
It's really starting to catch on fire in the middle of the state on the eastern side. And we've gone up to the Mass line, and people know about us there. But now we're trying to come down south to the shore, because there's a lot of people in the shore area between Waterford, Mystic, all along the 95 corridor that are like-minded and enjoy the arts. And
one of my best friends from Nebraska, high school friends from Nebraska, said she wanted to go to the Newport Festival in August. I think I'm going to invite her to come in June.
I would love it. That would be great. Make sure you introduce me from Nebraska. That would be fabulous.
Yeah. So we just have a couple of minutes left, and I guess about 4. What else should we know, Ray? How can we support you as a 501c3, or just a fledgling nonprofit? How can we support you, and what else can we do on your behalf?
If you get onto our social media and have the opportunity to support whatever events we're doing, that would be great. Obviously, getting a brick and mortar, we have all the interest in the world. We have architects, we have builders, we have everybody that's willing to get into it and roll their sleeves up. It's all money. It's all money. And you're kind of in a, we're grant writing, we're doing all of that kind of stuff, but we're talking about $1 million+ project to do something like this. And you're in the catch-22 all the time. The state doesn't want to talk to you until you have the private money,
Right.
and the private people are hesitant to donate until you have the state money.
Right.
So one of those things has to give.
Right.
We're doing very well. Our fundraising campaigns are exploding. I have a wonderful board of directors, and
you're the president.
I am the president.
Well,
yes.
congratulations with that. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
But we have a great board, very hardworking. We have a great marketing assistant. He does great stuff for us. And we're just pushing, and all these jazz fests and stuff, they're not probably not going to be the impetus behind getting the funds to get to the brick and mortar, but they're going to get the interest, and they're going to accomplish our mission, and they're going to bring people into the cause that go, hopefully those people are doing something that our neighborhoods need. I'd like to support them.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And there's going to be people that are interested in it, and it's going to build, it's going to grow, just a natural evolution.
Thank you. I hope so.
I can see that happening, absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you coming in and sharing some time with us, and we can't wait until June 5th. I'm praying for good weather.
Yep.
I hope that the steps leading up to that are very successful for you,
Thank you.
that everything comes true for you.
Thank you. We got a small army working on it, so I don't think it could fail.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Thank you, Kate. It was a pleasure.
Oh,
Thank you
pleasure
so
was
much.
mine. Thank
This is
you
great.
so much.